Next up, the CarBuyer Advisor, your first place to turn for everything automotive. Taking a stand for consumer education and dedicated to connecting you with the industry's finest automotive products, services, and advice. And now, please welcome the CarBuyer Advisor.
If you own a business and you want your consumers' experience to be so outstanding they warrant repeat business, or more profoundly, they refer you, your friends, families, or coworkers, you're going to need to start by organizing, training, and retaining a staff equally committed to this goal. This could well be the single most difficult task for any business to accomplish. A business is otherwise nothing more than brick and mortar. Most carry products that are available almost anywhere. It is then the people that work there that make the business worthy of your support. Now, you're ultimately supporting not just the business, but their employees and their families, along with the continuation of their business practices. Unless you hang out with them on a regular basis, you're probably still just judging the book by reading only its cover. Our next guest received his invitation to come on our show because of our intimate knowledge of his top management, who they are, and what they stand for. Say car dealer, and you may invoke some negative emotions in many consumers. Quite possibly the area of the automotive industry that is in most desperate need of consumer reform that we preach about on our show. Now, having known and worked side by side with some of his staff for over a decade, it is both an honor and a privilege to introduce you to the second car dealer to date to be endorsed by the CarBuyerAdvisor.com. Please welcome Taylor Wondries with Nissan of Reno. Taylor, thank you for accepting our invite.
Well, thank you, Mitch. It's a pleasure to be here.
Taylor, let's start with a little history lesson on Nissan of Reno and your ties to the automotive industry.
We've owned Nissan of Reno since 1989, so we've been a part of the Reno community for many, many years. My ties to the auto industry, I'm a third-generation auto dealer. My grandfather and father have been involved in the car industry and owning dealerships for many, many years. So I've grown up in the car business, and I've had some phenomenal mentors.
Well, and then there's a lot that goes into that. So you've got a lot of background in the industry. What are some of the core fundamental values at Nissan of Reno?
My basic belief in the with a car dealership is it's all about the customers and it's all about the employees. I believe that we're in a people business. We just happen to sell cars. And what I mean by that is if you've got a great staff of employees that are going to be well-trained, very knowledgeable, and have a good ethic and moral position, they're going to perform well and take great care of the customers. And the customers are going to feel that when they come into your business. So my core belief is to find good quality individuals that I will employ at the dealership, because I know that those quality individuals are going to give our customers a very good experience.
Well, and I mentioned your employees in my intro. You have assembled one of the finest teams ever in the automotive industry, and many may I have been with you for decades. And Taylor, it all starts with you, though. How do you do that?
Well, all of my top managers have been with me for at least 10 years. So with some people that have been with you for more than 10 years, your customers see those employees every time that they come into the store. So it creates a environment of familiarity with your customers. The way I do that is I trust my employees. I know that I've hired good quality individuals, so I have a level of comfort knowing that I can trust them. I can trust them to make good decisions. I can trust them to do what's in the best interest of my employees, and I can trust them to do what's in the best interest of the dealership. That way, I know that they're providing a high quality service to all of our customers.
Well, and you have actually achieved that. And like I said, I think that's one of the most difficult tasks to achieve in any industry, is assembling a group of individuals quite like you have, and it's really phenomenal.
Well, your employees want to know that they're doing a good job. They want to know that their boss, their owner, trusts them to do a good job. Otherwise, it's just about the numbers. And if it's just about the numbers, they feel the pressure to perform. But when you give them the opportunity to trust them, they know that they're doing a good job.
Well, it's got to be a privilege to already have one of the finest product lineups on the planet. And you have a new one to discuss, and it's special. And I'm talking about the Leaf. And share with our listeners what makes the Leaf so special.
You're talking about the Nissan Leaf.
Yes.
The Nissan Leaf is the first mass-market, mass-produced 100% electric vehicle. The Nissan Leaf is the most innovative vehicle in the world. Now, I'm not just saying that. It was ranked the most innovative vehicle in the world. But not only that, the Leaf was also rated by the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration as a 5-star safety pick. Also by the Insurance Institute, it received a top safety pick. So the Nissan Leaf being 100% electric, and let's not confuse this is 100% electric, no gas. The Nissan Leaf is a very, very good vehicle.
Now, one of the past concerns people had in regards to electrical vehicles were their concerns about dealing with high voltage. And you mentioned that was, with the Nissan Leaf, not an issue. There were multiple ways to charge it, including household 110.
Yes. So with the Leaf, you are not putting gas in this vehicle. You're not making any visits to the gas station, but you have to power the vehicle in some manner. That's through electrical charge. So you've got a couple of options when it comes to charging the vehicle. Yes, you can use household 110 with a simple extension cord plugged into the home and into the vehicle, and you can charge the car through simple 110 power. You can also upgrade your home to 220 power with a charging station. Obviously, using 220 power and a charging station, the vehicle is going to charge in a much shorter time period than using 110. But it's very simple to do, very user-friendly. And once you get the 220 and the charging station set up, it's very easy.
Well, a lot of washer and dryer systems run on that, so that's still very safe. It's not as frightening as people might think.
Not at all.
Now, I almost want to ask you this, and please don't laugh, but how many miles per gallon does it get?
You know, it's funny. People are so programmed to using gasoline to program their vehicle. Miles per gallon is on the tip of their tongue, especially when gas prices peak to over $4 a gallon. The first question they ask when they come into the dealership is, what kind of fuel economy does that car get? Or how many miles per gallon does that car get? So they ask that question about the Leaf. How many miles per gallon does that vehicle get? Well, that's a tough question to answer because it's zero. You're never putting a gallon of gas in this vehicle. There's no gas tank and there's no tailpipe, which also means zero emissions. If you've got no tailpipe, you've got no emissions on the vehicle. If you've got no gas, you've got no emissions.
Well, I almost wanted to ask that, but I guess the real question then is, what does that do to maintenance cost?
The Leaf is a very low maintenance vehicle. What is the most common maintenance that you do for your vehicle?
Changing oil.
You change the oil. You change the oil filter. Well, you don't have a gasoline engine. You don't have engine oil. So there's no oil to change on this. There's no oil filter to change on this. You do have tires. So let's rotate the tires to prolong the longevity of your tires. We'll rotate the tires. You do have brakes. At some point, you're going to need to replace the brake pads on this vehicle. But keep in mind, and remember, this vehicle has regenerative braking. Tough one to say. But basically what that does, the engine compensates and slows the vehicle down, taking a lot of the wear off of the brake pads. So the brake pads are going to last you a long time. Very low maintenance vehicle. There's not a lot that you're going to have to do to keep up this vehicle.
Well, I'm away from my home and I'm in town. I want to get a quick charge. And you mentioned there were multiple locations that I could do this at. And then I asked the question, if I don't have to buy gas, well, how much does it cost to get it charged?
You're right. One of the concerns people have is, I don't want to get stranded. The vehicle, like I said, is a very innovative vehicle. It will tell you how much more distance you have on your battery charge that you currently have in the vehicle. It'll also tell you through the GPS system where the charging locations are so that you can get to a charging station and charge up your vehicle. Now, there's a couple of locations throughout town. Einstein Bagels down on McCarran has a charging station, and there's a couple of charging stations at NV Energy. I can't tell you what they're going to charge, if they even do, to use their charging station. Nissan of Reno has a couple of charging stations. I can tell you, we don't charge to use to plug in at our dealership. So if you own a Nissan Leaf and you need to plug in, you can come to Nissan of Reno and do that.
Well, and if I'm going to my friend's house, if while I'm there, I can just plug into their 110 with an extension cord. So it seems like there's always a charging station for them as well.
That's right.
Now, since we're on the radio, I can only imagine what people are picturing in their mind right now if they've never seen the Nissan Leaf. About every other earlier attempt was either an eyesore or so small that you might as well ride a bike. I can say I was completely surprised. This is a real car and with a lot of creature comforts.
It is. It's a real vehicle. It's not a gimmick. It's not a small shoebox, and it's a very functional vehicle for everyday drivers. Now, most people will drive 20 to 40 miles per day. So with a full charge, the vehicle will easily handle 20 to 40 miles a day with quite a bit of charge left over. So it is a functional everyday driver. Like I said, it's not a shoebox. It's a 4-door plus a hatchback, seats 5 people. Plus, it has plenty of space in the back for storage. The battery is underneath the vehicle, so you don't have the battery in the back of the vehicle taking up all of your trunk space. The only difference is it takes a little getting used to driving the vehicle because you don't have the gas acceleration that you're used to. But once you get used to that, it's like driving any other vehicle with the space, the creature comforts, air conditioning, stereo, power windows, door locks, everything that you're used to in your current vehicle, plus more. GPS. It also comes with a system called Car Wings, which is really cool. You can control a lot of the features of your vehicle with your smartphone. That's awesome.
And you said, I think it was navigation too. You may have mentioned
GPS
that.
navigation, yes.
GPS nav. Now, what kind of production numbers will they be, and where are they being built?
Initially, Nissan started manufacturing this vehicle in Japan with a production of about 10,000 units. However, with the 2013 model coming out next year, Nissan's going to be manufacturing this vehicle in Tennessee with a production volume of about 75,000.
Wow. So this is going to be a real volume, high volume production vehicle and built in America in the near future as well. Taylor, I hope I don't take you off guard here a little bit, but I'm going to pin you in the corner here a little bit. Fact or myth? Are the deals really better at the end of the year, like a lot of ads claim?
Well, that's a good question. That's a very fair question. Most all buyers this day and age, especially with the internet, are very well educated and they do their research. I encourage every customer to do their research. When you're purchasing a vehicle, it is a major purchase, and you do want to get the best deal out there. Now, this time of year, we see a ton of advertising pushing the sale of automobiles. Not every one of those promotions is really a good deal. So I encourage everybody to do their research. For example, this year, Nissan is really pushing volume sales. We have had a huge increase in our market penetration, and Nissan is really pushing volume. So they've come out with some great specials that run through the year ends January 3rd. So not only do we have some of the highest rebates in the industry, on top of that, Nissan has added a lot of year-end cash. We've got up to $800 year-end cash, plus we've got 0% financing for up to 60 months. That's free money for 5 years. A phenomenal deal.
Well, and let's add to that some people may have a tax advantage, and we advise them to check with their own accountant on that by squeezing one in before the end of the year.
Oh, for many years, people buy at the end of the year to take advantage of any tax benefits that they might enjoy. Again, like you said, check with your tax advisor to see if that's applicable to you, but yes, that is available.
And how about any truth in the dealership trying to reduce inventories, year-end accounting, things like that?
Well, all of my sales managers have goals that they're shooting for, so they're trying to reach their goal by the end of the year, which makes them very, very motivated to sell cars. So yeah, there's a lot of truth to that.
Well, and I appreciate your integrity around the question, because, the fact is that there are a lot of ads and some of them may be really good ones. Like you're talking about, Nissan has a tremendous promotion right now, completely worthy. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to go a little off here because we have somebody on the line that would like to ask a question about buying a Nissan. Would you mind taking a call?
Not a problem.
Billy, you're live. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I'm listening to you talk about all this stuff here, and why would I want to buy a car from Nissan and put some guy in Detroit out of a job.
Well, I think we just mentioned that.
That's messed up at Christmas to be selling foreign cars to American working people here.
Well, I think we have a lot of American people. Thank you, Billy. I appreciate that, and I think we'll take a moment and respond to it. I've got a couple of things I'd like to say. One is that we're employing a lot of our local families here in Reno that work for a local business here in Reno. And Taylor, you were just talking about the Nissans are going to be built here, but there's a lot of them already being built here.
Most of our vehicles are actually manufactured in the United States. Many of the vehicles that we sell, and mostly in Tennessee. So, Billy, I really appreciate your comment because it gives me an opportunity to let everybody know that many Nissans are built here in the United States, employing thousands and thousands of American workers, while many domestic vehicles are manufactured outside of the United States. So it is important, like I said, for people to do their research so that they actually know if their perceptions and their understandings are true. So thank you, Billy, for giving me an opportunity to respond to that.
Yeah, great. Knowledge is power. And I have another one for you, fact or myth. Does it cost more to service at a dealership, and is service the same wherever you go, only the price varies?
Yeah, I can't speak for every dealership, but we do have to be competitive because it is the vehicle owner's perception that if you go to an auto dealership for service, they're not going to care about you. They're going to charge you more money, and all they want to do is get you in and out. That can't be further from the truth. Now, we train all of our employees through the factory, so they have very high quality, very experienced training. We have all the latest technology as far as diagnosing your vehicle and all the latest tools. Plus, we use the highest quality original manufacturer's parts and fluids for your vehicle. But our pricing has to be competitive. So we are very competitive with all the independent repair facilities. For example, an oil change at Nissan of Reno is $34.99. That is a very competitive oil change price. That's using a high-quality Nissan oil filter and a high-quality oil for your vehicle. It's not the cheap stuff. Plus, with every oil change, you're going to get a $7 check in the mail made out to Nissan of Reno. You use that check towards the purchase or the payment on your next service. So they'll take your oil change on your next oil change down to $28.99.
Well, and let's not forget to mention the fact that when you have a factory-trained technician under the car performing that, they're doing some other inspections. And you asked me a question a little earlier about when the last time.
Mitch, when was the last time you crawled under your car to look at your belts, look at your hoses, look at underneath of your vehicle? When was the last time you did that?
Well, I hate to admit this, but these hands have not seen an honest day's labor.
They are pretty hands. Yes, they are very pretty hands. We don't do that, nor should we. We don't crawl under our vehicle, and even if we did, most people wouldn't know what to look for. When you bring your vehicle in for service at Nissan of Reno, we do a free inspection on the vehicle to let you know what's going on, so that you're aware of how your vehicle's performing and what it looks like underneath.
Now, I share this every show. I'd love to hear your take on this one too. We say that reforming the automotive industry will not require an act of Congress, but merely an act of our community. We want our customers to think before they just give anyone their hard-earned money. The good news is there are ones that rise above that, regardless of what others around them do. It's the reason we exist is to differentiate the top businesses in each category and to recognize them for their achievements. I'm guessing three things here. One, it must really frustrate you as a quality dealer that the actions of other automotive businesses have given the industry such a bad reputation. Two, that you probably hear a lot of people ask why all businesses don't treat the consumer the way you do. And that three, because you work so hard to provide your customers an exceptional experience that when you're the consumer, you use your power and your money to only support quality businesses. How did I do?
I'd say you did pretty well on that. You're right. The auto industry, over the many years that there have been car dealers, have created a negative perception of how we do business, which is why I come in with the core belief and philosophy that if you hire good people, now, all of my employees, like I said, not all my employees, a lot of my top managers have been with me for more than 10 years. A lot of my employees have been with me many more years than that. They're all good, family-oriented people that come with one goal in mind, and that's to take care of the customer every time they come to work. And when you come in with that philosophy, everything else takes care of itself. As long as you've taken care of the customer and they've had a truly exceptional experience, they're going to tell their friends and their family and refer them to us. And it's a continuation of business at that point. So yes, you're right. We have created this perception in our industry, but as a dealership, we're doing what we can to rectify that.
Well, and what you just said is why, through economic times like we just went through as a country, that your business has thrived. Taylor Wondries with Nissan of Reno, how can they reach you? And thanks again for joining us.
Well, we're on Kietzke Lane, 865 Kietzke Lane. We're just south of Mill Street, right next to Wendy's. Or you can visit us at www.nissanofreno.com.
And now I'm going to say this before you leave. I hope you'll come back again real soon. There's so much more about your business. I'd love nothing more than be the platform for you to share that with our community.
Well, Mitch, I really appreciate you having us on your program. It's a wonderful program. We support it, and I appreciate you having us on. And I would love to come back because I'd love to be able to tell you about Nissan's commercial vehicles. They have a phenomenal commercial van right now. And next year, Nissan of Reno is going to be going through a major remodel on our facility. It's long overdue, but we're going through a major remodel. We're very excited about it. I'd love to share that with you as well. So I'd love to come back and be on your show again. Thank you.